They hung him like a criminal, as if he were the worst among men. And yet, he was the best among the heavens. A crowd gathered, pushing, shouting, spitting. Some cried in silence, others laughed in mockery. Pharisees raised their hands and mocked. "If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." Soldiers cast lots at the feet of a bleeding man. They spat on the ground. They laughed out loud. The wood trembled with the weight of the body, but the soul of that man, that no one could touch. In the middle of the chaos, a voice rose, not to defend, but to set free. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." They expected a cry of hate, a curse, a divine threat, but they heard mercy, forgiveness, grace. It was as if heaven responded with a thick silence, loaded with meaning. And then, as a sign, the sun began to vanish. The sky darkened. The world went into mourning. But why does this matter to you? Because you've felt hatred. You've wanted revenge. You've held on to resentment like a weapon. You've thought about getting even. You've wished someone would pay dearly for what they did to you. And while you were stewing in that for days, months, or even years, there was someone hanging on a cross, bleeding, forgiving. And you need to know what that means, because that choice can change everything in your life. Now imagine forgiving someone while feeling physical pain. Imagine loving someone while your skin is being torn off. Imagine praying for someone who's destroying you. This isn't theory, it's practice. Jesus didn't teach this in a comfy sermon. He lived it while dying. And that alone should make you rethink what you've been holding in your heart. How many burdens do you carry that could have been released already? How many times have you chosen bitterness, thinking it was self-protection, when in fact it was self-destruction? He bled for you, for me, for those who mocked, for those who laughed, for those who spat. And if you think that's beautiful, wait, because it's not over yet. The cross wasn't the stage for a single phrase. There were seven words, 7 doors, 7 keys that still open locks holding you today. The second word he said breaks all human logic. "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." Now stop and think. A thief, a criminal, a man who had no time to change his life, did no good works, kept no law, lived no holiness. And still, he heard from Jesus that he'd be with him in paradise. That messes with the religious mind. That exposes the heart of God. Because God isn't after perfection, he's after surrender. The thief had nothing left to offer, just one request: "Remember me." And Jesus replied, "Today, not tomorrow. Not if you improve. Not if you prove something. Today." Because God doesn't wait for you to fix everything before loving you. He loves you in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the mistake. And maybe you need to hear that now. Maybe you're there thinking you've gone too far, that there's no turning back, that God won't listen to you. But he hears. He always has. Romans 3:23 reminds us, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That includes you. That includes me. But it also includes us in the forgiveness, because all have sinned, but all can be saved. All, including you. And even there, on that cross, torn, wounded, exposed, he was still thinking of others. Jesus looked at his mother, Mary, and looked at John, his beloved disciple, and said, "Woman, behold your son," and to John, "Behold your mother." He was hanging between heaven and earth, and still he created a home, a family, a care in the midst of pain. Can you grasp that kind of love? Because maybe you think you can only care for others when you're okay, when everything is resolved. But Jesus shows that it's possible to love even in pain, to serve even in tears, to be family even when the world is falling apart. And maybe you need that. Maybe you're trying to find strength to care for those you love even while broken. Then listen. Jesus understands you. He did it. And he left that example so you'd know that your pain doesn't stop you from loving. It enables you to love more deeply. Then comes the phrase that cut through the sky. The most human, the most desperate, the one that sounds just like what you felt. My God, why have you forsaken me? Silence. The sky darkens, the earth shakes, and the Son of God feels the weight of abandonment. Have you felt that? Prayed and got no answer? Cried and only heard the echo of your own voice? Wondered if God had forgotten you? Jesus felt that too, and even so, he still called God my God, because even in pain, faith doesn't die. Even in silence, the bond doesn't break. Isaiah 53 declares, "He was wounded for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed." He stayed silent so that you would be heard today. He was forsaken so that you would be embraced today. The cross is not just a symbol of suffering, it's a symbol of substitution. Him in your place, him in my place, him paying the debt that wasn't his, because God's love isn't based on what you do, but on what Jesus did. And while all this was happening, the world didn't understand, but heaven knew, because every word from that cross was like a seed, and seeds only bear fruit after they die. You might feel dry inside today, alone, dirty, defeated. You might even think God has abandoned you. But hear this. God's silence is never rejection. It's redemption. It's preparation. Jesus endured silence so you could experience the answer. And if you think it's too late, remember the thief. If you think you're too dirty, remember the forgiveness. If you think no one cares about you, remember Mary at the foot of the cross, receiving care even amid the chaos. The cross is more than a symbol. It's a code, a call, a portal, and all those words of Jesus still echo. They still carry power. They still transform. And now comes the most important part. He didn't end there. The cross wasn't the end. Friday was just the beginning. Because on the third day, the stone rolled away. The body was no longer there. Death lost, hell trembled, heaven opened, and Jesus rose again. And do you know what that means? It means that everything he said is true. It means forgiveness is real, that paradise is possible, that care is constant, that God's silence has purpose, that pain can become a bridge, that the end is just the beginning. And now he asks you, will you respond? Because the gospel isn't just to be watched, it's to be lived. The cross is not a memory, it's a direction. And the resurrection is not just an ancient miracle, it's a present opportunity. Today. Now he still speaks, still heals, still calls. And the question isn't if he's speaking. The question is, will you listen? The crowd mocked, but you can believe. The thief surrendered, and you can too. Mary was cared for, and you will be too. Jesus was forsaken, so you could be found. So, what will your answer be? Because he already gave his. He said, "It is finished." And now, it's up to you.